On Larry King Now, the Tonight Show host, Jimmy Fallon.
Now I get to see all of my favorite pop culture people, my favorite comedians, my favorite musicians. I did a sketch with Bob Dylan.
Unbelievable.
It was insane.
Yeah.
You go, how is this real?
Plus.
But I remember almost crying, I think.
Yeah.
Because I was
It gets
waiting to say
emotional.
it. It gets emotional. I was like, live from New York, it's Saturday night. And I was just thinking about my mom and dad. Yeah, and Lauren was like, don't have him ever do it again. He's gonna cry when he says it.
All next on Larry King Now. Hey, welcome to Larry King Now, coming to you from 3rd Avenue,
Oh yeah!
New York City. I'm Dennis Miller, filling in for Larry. Today, I welcome comedian, actor, writer, singer, producer, late night Tonight Show host extraordinaire, Jimmy Fallon. They picked the perfect guy. Jimmy starred on Saturday Night Live from 1998 to 2004. He's perhaps best known for his late night tenure, though, hosting Late Night with Jimmy Fallon from 2009 to 2014. He then took over the Tonight Show from Jay Leno in 2014. Has been just killing it. In my book, the best late night host in the business. In addition to his late night hosting duties, he's also a best-selling author. We've got the new one here. It's called This Is Baby. Jimmy's got kids, and you can tell his heart's been to open up. It's a very sweet book, and it's all available online and in stores. Jimbo, good to see you. It's classy of you to come over, man.
Oh, you're the greatest. Come on. And hey, Larry, if you're watching, how you doing, bud?
Can I tell you, they found the right guy, man, because somebody's got to bridge that gap between the history of it and the kid on after me tonight. I was over doing Jimmy's show, was a gamer who's making folks, he plays games.
Yeah.
On a YouTube channel, and he makes $500,000.
Even more. He's a millionaire, and he's doing movies now on TV. Ninja.
Sweet kid, Ninja Blevins.
Ninja
But I'm
Blevins.
thinking, you really need somebody to keep their hand in serving Johnny and all that.
Yeah.
And knowing who Ninja Blevins is, you're the perfect guy for it.
I appreciate that. You know what it is? Really do love it. I love pop culture. I'm interested in it. Now I get to see all of my favorite pop culture people, my favorite comedians, my favorite musicians. I did a sketch with Bob Dylan.
Unbelievable.
It was insane.
Yeah.
You go, how is this real? But you get to be as creative. You know what it's like doing Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
I mean,
but Jimmy, you have that whole other toolbox, man. You know, I can write a good joke. I can tell a good joke, but I'd never had like the characters. I look at that. There are nights you just to Bowie or what was that?
we were Tim Tebow and David Bowie as one person.
I'm sitting home going, Carson, what he did, this is so beautiful.
I love doing it. It's a true variety show.
Yes.
And so I get to sing with people. I get to dance. We did a thing with J-Lo, the history of music video dancing, and and I practiced for like 3 days.
Yeah.
I'm a terrible dancer, but I'm dancing with J-Lo. She comes in 20 minutes, nails it. She's like doing all the moves. But you get to do that one night. Then I get to sit down with Kamala Harris the next night, and it's like. This is perfect for my ADD brain.
It's a nice salon, Jimmy. You run a beautiful shop over there, man. And I'm telling you, your parents gifted you.
Yeah, I had a pretty great childhood. My parents, my mom, she did pass away, but they were married for over 40 years. I think it's because they couldn't hear each other by the end. By the end, it was like, dude, I would call, and you go, huh? What? Huh? What? Huh? Huh?
That was their
Gloria.
pillow talk.
What? I go, oh, that's their pillow. Dude, I would call on the phone. I go, hey, Mom, what? What? I go, what do you think I said? Hello. How do you answer the phone? But they moved. I moved them out of the house and to this beautiful little kind of one-floor place. And I said, you got to go out and visit the town. Go take a bus ride somewhere. So they took the bus for the first time. Saying, I don't know where the bus is. Take a bus. I go, yeah, just take a bus. They got on the bus. I go to the mall. They go to the mall and. They're in the back of Macy's, right? And so they go, look, it's Macy's here. And so they're walking around. My mom could barely walk. She walks like Ozzy Osbourne. She would just drag her feet. And really, it would take her a half hour to go from here to say hi to you. So she's walking with my dad, and she's like, look, there's a Chinese restaurant here. Peking duck. Peking duck. And my dad goes, huh? What? She goes, there's a restaurant here. Peking duck. He goes, what are you talking about? What? She goes, look at the sign. He goes, Gloria, that says parking dock. They're in the back of a Macy's. They're in the back of a Macy's, dude. They're insane people. Dude, we went to a wedding once And when my parents first met my wife's parents, they have a summer house in New Hampshire. Beautiful old family house, been there for like 5 generations. They go to visit them, and for the first time, and my mom calls me the night before, and she goes, so I go, hello? She goes, don't hang up, which means she's gonna say something that's gonna make me mad. So I go, what do you mean? What are you calling? What's going on? She goes, are you still coming? She goes, yeah, we're still coming. One thing happened. Daddy's tooth fell out. I go, okay. She goes, his front tooth fell out. I go, well, go to a dentist, get it fixed. She goes, you can't, the dentist is on vacation. They live in a small town. I go, well, this is awful. What are you gonna do? She goes, he's just not gonna smile. He's not gonna smile for the meeting to meet the parents. I go, okay, I'm hanging up. I'm hanging up the phone. She goes, wait, well, I have one more thing. You know what? She goes, I rubbed my eye last night in my sleep. I have a bloody eye. I go, great, this is perfect. So you're gonna wear like an eye patch. So here comes my parents, jack-o'-lantern face and a pirate with a red bloody eyeball. And I go, oh my, so they come out, and I'll cut to this, is a long story, but I'll cut this. My dad, as a joke, jumps in the lake. There's a lake, Winnipesaukee there in New Hampshire. And it's, it's not even quite summer. I think it was October maybe, so it was too cold to even go swimming. But he jumped in, and it was funny, and that's good, and all this stuff. So we're about to get ready, we're going to dinner, and I'm upstairs, getting ready, and there's a knock at the door. It is my mom, and she's wearing this, she had one outfit. She has like a white linen suit. She looked like Bishop Desmond Tutu. And I go, Mom, what's up? What is she goes, there's smoke around. I go, what's going on? She goes, everything's fine. Nothing's on fire. I go, what are you talking about? That's not fire. What happened? She's like, Daddy, when he jumped in the lake, had all of his money in his pocket. I go, uh-huh. She goes, so he had like $500. I go, yeah. She goes, so he wanted to dry his money, so he put it in the microwave. And it lit on fire. My dad he microwaved $500, lit it all on fire. And I go, Jesus, get it together. I go down, there's burnt $20 bills all over the kitchen. I go, this is an old family house that's been around for hundreds of years. I mean, it could go up and fly. I mean,
a second. It's the geriatric equivalent of making it rain at a strip club. Burning up $500.
I go, oh my God, dude. It's things like that I think made me kind of who I am.
We're with Jimmy Fallon, the host of The Tonight Show. Right back, right after this. Hey, welcome back to the Larry King Now Show. I'm Dennis Miller, sitting in for Larry. Jimmy Fallon with us. Say hi to Larry.
Hi, guys.
And the new book is, where are we at?
Oh,
This
Baby.
is Baby.
Yeah.
And Jimmy, by the way, you just kicked off, I think you had your premiere weekend. You did live shows?
Yeah, I did live shows that were great, but why would I do that? Why would I go live? I mean,
The juice. You dig the juice. You were always great in the moment.
no, I know, but I mean, do you ever miss that? The live stuff, the Saturday Night Live?
Listen, I think you're built for it when you're young, because I don't know about you, I felt like a rodeo rider, man. I'd sit in there and go, let's go.
Let's see what happens.
But as you get older, you look back on it and you think, geez, where did I have the cojones to pull that off?
Right? I mean, how late would you stay out all night?
Afterwards,
Yeah.
just wired.
I was there one night with Lorne and Horatio Sands, he was my partner in crime.
Yeah.
When I was there, the years
Funny
I was
guy,
there.
geez.
Great guy. And so we're there, we're drinking. It's got to be 5:30 in the morning, maybe almost 6. The sun was like coming up.
Yeah.
And we're drinking. David Wells, the pitcher for the Yankees,
Yeah,
is
sure.
there. So and Lauren, and we're all at the table, all drinking, and just amped up. So I go, I got to go home. So me, Lauren, Horatio, we split. We go home, and Wells is still there. I said bye to David Wells. I go, cool. I wake up the next day around 1:30 in the afternoon. I turn on TV, and there's a Yankee game on, and David Wells is pitching. I go, that's insane. Like, am I out of my mind? So I look at it. Maybe it's one of the Yankees classic games, classic old games. It's not. So I call Horatio up. I wake him up. It's 2:00 in the afternoon. He's like, hello. I go, you got to put on Channel 11. Wellesley's pitching. He's like, there's no way. I go, I know, dude. We left him. He was 6 in the morning. He goes, there's no way. I go, well, watch it. It's on TV right now. And he puts it on. He actually is pitching. That's the day he pitched the perfect game.
The perfect game.
I was out with him till I left around 6. I mean, those SNL things would go nuts.
There's something to be said for not going in too focused on the task at hand and just letting it all happen. That's the key to SNL, I always thought. I used to fight it up front a little and think, I've got to make this perfect. Then I thought, no, you just can't turn into a sweat act if it goes wrong.
Yeah.
They dig the Scaramouche stuff. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
They dig the flourish.
If they're
Like
yeah,
you and
exactly.
Rachel that night. That's one of the funniest things where she was such a pro, but she fell out on a Debbie Downer one night.
Oh yeah, dude.
And
I
that is
lost
as
it.
hard as I've laughed.
Dude, the room was shaking. It was like so. It felt like the whole room. It felt like it was 95 degrees. It was just like really hot and shaking. And I was like, just say your line, because I don't want to laugh. and be
Rachel
the guy that-
Jatz we're talking about.
and
folks.
she's so good. And I was like, just say your line, just so I can end the sketch. It was called Debbie Downer, and I love the premise is great. It was like we brought her to Disneyland, with the happiest place on earth, and she's just saying like, you know, she thinks her cat has feline AIDS,
Right.
and you know stuff like that. Now she's lactose intolerant, and every time she would say something, this camera would zoom in and go wah wah. So I think the last line of the sketch was, well, it's official. I can't have children. It's like, why would you bring that up at breakfast at Disneyland? And we all know what the line is. Amy Poehler shaking, Fred Armisen shaking. Horatio was actually dipping his eyes. We had Mickey Mouse waffles, and he was crying so hard. He was doing that, and I was like,
And
just
she
say,
couldn't gather
she couldn't say
herself.
the line, and then she finally just spit it out, almost throwing up, and crushed. And the room was shaking. It was just one of those things where I'm like, that's the moment that you live for.
You got to watch those YouTubes, folks. And if you go back and watch that one, that literally, along with Farley and Patrick Swayze and Chippendales, might be the biggest laugh I've ever heard watching that show.
I mean, Farley, I only got to meet him once. It was lucky. I met him with Sandler years ago, and I just said hi. And he goes, I go, I'm such a fan of yours, you know. And he goes, oh, thank you very much. And are you a comedian? Oh, that's good. Thank you very much. And then Sandler would come over and be like, and he goes, you know. And then they start just like immediately turn into like the characters just turn right on. I'm like, that's
Who has done it smoother than Adam? I mean, when you think about it, I'd say bang for buck, money in versus money out. There's a chance Adam Sandler's the biggest movie star in the history of show business.
I mean,
think
Hollywood
about it.
should just thank him for
He just
everything.
did something with Jennifer on Netflix, and there's still the streaming numbers are
The
crazy.
number, yes, the big, and also
And a lovely guy.
the best dude you'll
Yeah,
ever
the best
run
guy
into.
in the world, man.
He just is so nice and loves his family, and he's loyal to his friends, and I just love him. I remember the first time I did an impression of him.
A good one. by the way.
Hurley was on the show, and he's like, you should call Adam just to go over the impression, just make sure he's cool with that.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so he
That's
called
his
Adam.
posse guy, Adam.
Yeah. So yes, yeah. So he goes. So we call up, and he goes. I go, hello, and he goes, all right, let me hear it. That's his first line to me. That's the first thing. All right, let me hear. I go, well, there's 3 levels. First, you do this level of where you're like, my mother, she lives in a apartment building, and he goes, yeah. He goes, and then the second level is the. He goes, that's right. He goes, and the third one is like, shut up. And he goes, that's good. You can do it. That's great. Good luck, buddy, and I hope you have a great career. And he was just rooting for me.
Coming up, Jimmy reveals some of his favorite guests on The Tonight Show. I think he likes the musicians. And we'll be right back on Larry King Now. Welcome back to Larry King Now. I'm Dennis Miller. I'm joined by Jimmy Fallon, who's an author now. This is Baby, the latest one. It's in a troika. Baby's first words will be Dada, everything is Mama,
Yeah,
this
and
is Baby.
Oh, these are
And,
like,
but they all #1 on the New York Times bestseller list, and they're very sweet.
It's more of a picture booky thing. The thing is,
Well, let's sing that cat's praises, by the way. Miguel Ordonez, very nicely illustrated. And you've got kids now. Listen, your heart's been open. You're allowed to write.
So yeah,
this
but
sweet
you know
stuff
the thing where you have to read books before they go to sleep, and that's the thing. And I read Goodnight Moon so many times I had to actually throw it out. I had to like donate it to a library and go to get this out of my house.
So you had the right.
So I go. But what this is, you can read it as fast as you want, as slow as you want. As like they're like, read me 3 books, and you're like, dude, you got to go to sleep.
Right.
So I go, it's like, baby, this is baby, the baba dada quack moo, baba good night,
And
lights
you
are
can
out.
sit in it longer if you have more time on
And you
any
get more
given
time,
night.
you go, let's
Just
count the
embellish.
ducks,
Yeah.
let's look at all the colors. And
No, they're beautiful books, and as I said, New York Times bestsellers. Now, Jim, I love to play because the other Jimmy Kimmel does this with the NBA all the time, and I'm always thinking, God, NBC has the Tiffany franchise in sports with football.
Yes.
But it involves going to the weekend. You've got a couple under your belt going on, and I think that's a very smart play. I don't know who came up with that. NBC, the Suits, or you did?
I did. I thought of a good idea.
Well, it's a
'cause I
good
go,
play, Jim.
Everyone's watching.
Yes.
Everyone loves football. They're all watching. I have people over at the house. I go, we have all these eyeballs. I go, let's do a show on a Sunday. And it's that way, if your team wins, you can continue the party with us.
Yes.
We'll have some good comedy. And if your team loses, we'll make you feel better.
Well,
We'll try.
see, now, this is when you know you got the right host, when the cat's putting product out, and then he comes to you with that. I mean, I can't believe they didn't. Well, I never thought of it because it seems so inviolable for a guy to go on Sunday night. But you're
Yeah.
right, they've got the biggest show on television.
Yeah.
And now it's getting plunked in your lap.
Yeah.
You can tailor them, right? Make them a little more funny, 5-level dip,
Yep.
have some fun, tailgating and stuff like
We have
that.
all sorts of special things coming up, like special guests. We might do something fun with Tiger Woods. You know, it's fun. We can do a little bit more sportsy stuff with that episode. And it's special to do because no one else is in the building.
Yeah.
There's no TV
Late
on
night.
at Sunday,
Yeah,
late
cool.
night. It's just us walking around the hallways. It's empty. It's like, it's good ghosts are in there. And it's like, it's fun to do. You know, you think it'd be exhausting, but honestly, it's another little like shot of adrenaline. Because everyone's like, hey, we're doing this fun thing and anything can happen. It's weird, but it's timely and it's now, and it makes you feel like, oh, we're in this world.
Now, Jim, I see this will serve you well having a live background. You're going out to University of Texas in Austin?
This is a big deal. We always want to do a show at a college because a lot of our fans are college-age kids. So we set up this thing. It costs so much money to do, so we had to get a sponsor, which we did. Samsung is great, and so we're actually taking the whole show, actual big theater show, to the University of Texas at Austin, and it's going to be crazy. I didn't really.
For a week or a night?
Just one night. One night only. We have special guests.
Who's the guest? You got to come out with a big shit kicker.
I got a good
You
one.
got somebody?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, don't tell us here.
Yeah,
but then
it's gonna
lead it
it's
out
gonna-
at the right moment.
It's gonna crush.
Oh,
It's gonna
that's
crush. It's
exciting.
gonna be great, and it's the energy already is insane. I'm already getting videos of kids going like, "Ah!" And I go, dude, slow your roll. It's November.
Yeah.
You got a month.
No, but they're so jazzed.
Oh, the kids are all excited. I cannot wait to do it. It's gonna be good. We're gonna have good music.
When's that coming up, Jim? Do you know the
November
date?
7th.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
It's a
but November
Thursday.
7th?
Yeah, so get ready. I mean, seriously, the campus is gonna explode.
You must have. Give me a Mount Rushmore of guests you've had on the Tonight Show. Give me 4 that have blown your mind over the years.
I mean, the musicians always, in my head.
Bruce, God, you
Bruce
do
Springsteen.
Bruce like that now,
Bruce
right?
Springsteen came on, and it was one of my favorite moments of having Springsteen on. We did sketches together. I was doing him.
I know.
And he goes, he was doing interviews, him and Steven Van Zandt. So him and little Steven, and I was going through an old set list of his from the 70s. I go, what is, he goes, like, yeah, we used to do that song, and this one here, that was a good one, we did that. He goes, and this one's a Wiggle Waggle, you know that? I go, I've never heard Wiggle Waggle. He was like, you don't know Wiggle Waggle? Roots, you guys know Wiggle Waggle? Roots. And the Roots are like, oh, we don't know Wiggle Waggle, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, Wiggle Waggle, great song, Wiggle Waggle. So we talk, we finish the interview. I go, all right, more with Bruce Springsteen when we come back. And as we go to break, the Roots have YouTubed it. They figured it out, and they play Wiggle Waggle.
Oh,
And Bruce
cool.
Springsteen's face looked like a kid on Christmas. He was like, that's Wiggle Waggle! That's Wiggle Waggle! That can't be Wiggle Waggle! And it was like, he wasn't even saying words. Wiggle Waggle! All I heard was Wiggle Waggle. But it was the best to see him excited like that and going, it was awesome.
Jazzed.
It was great. I love him, Paul McCartney.
What's he like? Does he have that loopy, groovy
He's
Beatles patter still?
Dude, he's a Beatle. He's just
Yeah.
he's just so funny and fun and wants to have fun. He's like
Yeah.
a kid, man. And he's like, what happened was, yesterday, the original title was Scrambled Eggs. And so he was trying to remember it before he went to sleep. So he was like, da, 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 da. So he wrote Scrambled Eggs, oh my baby, how I love your legs. That's the original first lyrics of Yesterday. So we thought it'd be funny if we finished the song Scrambled Eggs. So if the whole song's about
Great
food,
idea.
So I go, Paul, do
Great
this.
idea.
And I give it to Lauren. I go, what do you do? And Lauren's like, you can ask him. I go, I don't want to talk to Paul McCartney. I mean, you're the producer. You go talk to him. You're his friend. It's like, oh, he's fine. I'm like, so nervous. I'm like, hey, Paul. He's like, hey, Jimmy, I'm probably not going to do this, I'm probably not going to do it, but let me hear what it is. And I go, I'm so nervous. I'm shaking and I'm holding the paper. I'm like, well, yesterday the original, it's like the Chris Farley show. I'm like, the original lyrics were, scrambled eggs. Do you know that? He's like, oh, I wrote that. And I go, so anyways, to the tune of Yesterday, he goes, oh, let me get my guitar. I go, oh shit. And he gets the original guitar that he played yesterday on Ed Sullivan, I believe.
Jeez.
Now he's like, yeah, I'll do it. It'll be fun. And we did it together. And he's like, he goes, I'll do it, but only if you do it with me. And I go, how am I going to turn this down? I get to sing with Paul McCartney. It's crazy.
Jimmy, was the music tool? It's another obviously very adroit arrow in your quiver. But do you have that at the beginning, or do you decide when you're a kid to augment your comedy with that, or what comes first? Do you feel like you're funny, or you're doing impressions first, and you take up music, or is music something in your life first?
I think it was probably music first.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, because you got to start early on to be adept at
I
that.
loved it. I just always loved it. I took clarinet lessons. That's not the best instrument.
No, you're not going to get laid with the
No,
clarinet.
you can't walk into a party and like, you guys want to hear any?
Benny Goodman was a Trappist monk.
Exactly. So I got to lose the clarinet. Then I did piano lessons. I couldn't quite understand it. I was like, I don't like being this close to a teacher.
Yeah.
Sit next to him on the
Right.
little bench. I didn't like that. So then the guitar just became fun.
Right.
And once you learn 4 chords, you can play any song, really.
Yeah, you
So I
can
mean, it's
do it.
fun. You take 2 years, figure out how to play guitar, and you'll play the rest of your life. So I started playing that, and then I started doing impressions because I wanted to be Dana Carvey. And then I added musical impressions to
Right.
the bit, and so I was kind of like a prop act, you know.
I was too at the beginning.
Were you really?
Yeah, yeah,
you
but
have-
I couldn't fit him in the overhead on the plane, and I didn't want to wait at the baggage carousel.
Seriously, that's what I was. It was so,
I
embarrassing.
got to get out of this.
Really?
But I did at the beginning do props.
I had to. I just anything, right? I go.
A good instinct for a young comedian there. When we come back, Jimmy's answering some of the many questions sent in over social media. Make sure to pick up his new book. This is Baby. It's part of a Troika. UT, November 7th in Austin. He's blowing something up out there. I don't know who the band is, but I cannot wait. I'll be there watching it just as you are. And he's got 3 more Sunday night football games coming up. I love that that's his idea. Jimmy Fallon, right after this. Larry King Now. Welcome back to Larry King Now. I'm sitting in for a delightful half hour with our friend Jimmy Fallon. We've got some social media, and by the way, nobody plays social media like you. You guys are smart to get in on that early, right?
We were on Twitter before anyone. Like we were so excited
Right.
because we were just starting late night, and I go, guys, I have 100 followers. That's like 100 more people are gonna watch our show. Like,
Yeah.
And we're all cheering and celebrating. Now I think I have 50 million.
15.
50.
50.
50.
So that's more than what you started with.
I mean, I was psyched for 100.
49 million.
A yak.
All right, here we go. Daniel Christopher Thomas. I think he was the Walton with the mole on Facebook. Describe the first time you got to say live from New York. It's Saturday night. Remember
man.
the first time you did it a lot?
I do remember saying it the first time I was a security guard in the White House. It wasn't a great big sketch for me, but it was the last thing because we had to close the door and then I had to say live from New York. And I screwed it up. It wasn't even that great for me. I remember it was such a weird feel. I mean, you get those moments, but I remember almost crying, I think.
Yeah.
Because I was
It gets
waiting to say
emotional.
it. It gets emotional. I was like, live from New York, it's Saturday night. And I was just thinking about my mom and dad watching me.
How does a guy to be the cop at the White House door when he has a stammer like that?
Yeah, and Lauren was like, don't have him ever do it again if he's gonna cry when he says it. But those moments when, Don Pardo says your name.
Yeah.
Don Pardo, that's the biggest moment on Saturday Night Live when he says your name.
Jimmy Fallon!
It's the greatest thing in
Yeah,
the
it's
world.
cool. I never said it to my last show, and I went to Lauren for my last show after 6 years because I was a newscaster. So I
you
wasn't
never
in
did
these
the
cold
sketches.
opens. And he said, Dennis, good service. I was a good soldier. He said, anything we can do? And I said, Lauren, I've never said live from New York. It's Saturday night. And it's a little maudlin to ask him for that. He says, oh, of course. So we do a thing at the craft service table that replicates that scene where I'm saying, he said, Dennis, thank you very much. We had a good time with you. You're moving on. Can we do anything for the last show? And I go, yeah, I'd like to say live from New York. It's Saturday night. And he said, go right ahead. And I go, live from New York. It's Saturday night. And Lauren says, you good? And I said, yeah. And for the only time ever, Lauren looked at the camera and said, live from New York. It's Saturday night.
No.
Yeah, it's such a
That's
hip
great
move,
bit.
man.
That's a great
Yeah,
bit.
and
No
it's the only
way.
time he said it. He didn't go for it too much. It was
Yeah, of
just
course,
like Lauren.
He's cool.
He said, are you good?
He's
I
cool.
said, yeah, I'm good. He said, okay, live from New York.
It
It
God.
was a good SNL move. Cody Joe Brown on Facebook. Do you have any other talents apart from acting and television that you're particularly proud of but not widely known?
everything I have, I do on the show.
You expend it, man.
I do. I
leave it
try-
on the field.
I leave it on the field. I'm like doing impressions, dancing, singing.
So when you get home, read This Is Baby.
I know, it's like, no, tonight I'm letting my wife read.
There you go. Austin Kelly on Facebook. In your opinion, is there a difference in late night talk shows now compared to when you first started late night? Yeah, it's a little more politically correct now.
When we did late night for all those years, it was all Obama.
Yeah.
So we're just so used to that. And now it's a different thing. But you got to change with the times. And so
Listen, you cannot change with the times, and guess what? You're going to get whacked nowadays. Yeah. Sharon Zurcher on Twitter. What advice would you give anyone who wants to get into show business? The age-old tale.
I think take any gig.
Yeah.
Don't do it for money, because you won't make money. And if you do, it's awesome. It's a bonus. I never did anything for money. I always did it because I loved it. I remember doing stand-up outside of a Vons in LA once because I heard that Melanie, played Catwoman, she was in Scarface.
Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer. God, thanks. See, this is what Google does. It kills our brains.
Yeah, you're right.
If I had Google, I would Google.
I should have went.
Yeah, I know. But our brains Googled. See, kids, your brain can Google stuff. And that's what I did. I Googled
That's
with my
called
brain.
thinking.
It's called thinking. So
It's an old
I heard
notion.
that she got discovered at a grocery store. So I think she was a cashier or something.
When you look like that, you could have got discovered in a 99-cent store.
I learned that the
quite
hard way.
frankly. Yeah.
I learned that the hard way. Of course, she's Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah.
Isn't it great?
So I did stand up outside of the grocery store and did impressions and sang and hoping someone would discover me. It was awful, it was terrible. But either way, like you said, you learn from that. But so I would say, take any gig, don't do anything for money, because if you make money, that's just icing.
Have fun with the ride. It's never truer that it's about the journey than in showbiz.
Yep.
And lastly, and I like this question, I want to hear the answer to this. Rhoda on Twitter, what does your perfect day off look like? You like a nice meal, right? You're a bit of an epicure.
I love food, yeah. I think that just hanging out with my wife and the kids, just quiet, if that's possible. I don't think it's possible right now. There's no quiet in my house.
No.
Sometimes I like to even just stare at a wall.
Yeah.
And just be like, not talk and do anything. But I do love hanging out with my wife whenever I can. She's great, and there's a reason why we're married. It's like, actually, I want to spend time with her. She wants to spend time with me, which I find awesome. So I think my perfect day off would be that, do something with the kids, and then have the best meal.
Nice meal.
And that's it.
Oh, Nancy. Boy.
I do, yeah.
You're a good man.
The best. Dennis Miller, come on.
All
This is the
right.
best thing.
Thank you to Jimmy Fallon for joining me today. Be sure to pick up his new book, Gimme That. This is Baby. Available in stores and online, and season 7 of The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, of course, airing on NBC, 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Little plug for me. My podcast is The Dennis Miller Option. It's on Westwood One and iTunes, and we will see you next time. Thanks for the gig, Larry. Thank you, Jimmy Fallon.